Hey, Chris here. Today I'd like to take a look at the eBags TLS Mother Lode Mini 21 and the Osprey Rolling Transporter 40. So primarily want to do a side-by-side of these bags. Do want to discuss size and weight of the bags. Also want to talk about some key features of both bags. And I want to finish up by talking about price, because you do pay a premium for one of these bags. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into this. First, I wanted to go ahead and put these bags side by side. Hopefully, you'll see how they compare as far as size goes. Plus, I will put the official measurements in the description below. Also, I did want to touch on weight of the bags, because again, I know that's a big question I get a lot of times. I did measure both of these bags empty. So what my portable scale told me was the Osprey Rolling Transporter comes in at approximately 5.9 pounds, and the eBags comes in at approximately 8.7 pounds. And what's interesting though is you really can't feel that big of a difference between the two bags, but I felt it was important to share that information. So next we'll move on and just take a quick look at some key features of these bags. So let's go ahead and look at some key features of both of these bags. And what's very interesting in my opinion is that both companies call these rolling duffel bags, but you'll notice very quickly that they go about that very differently. So I wanted to touch on some similarities and differences in these bags, and a lot more differences as we'll see. So just to quickly hit some similarities, of course, size of the bags. Very similar in size and appearance. Like the wheels on the bags, very similar top wheels, even though, again, on the surface they look different, but they work very, very similar. So I like the pull handles on both of the bags, and just some nice grab handles to really kind of grab the bag and throw it around any way you might need to. And I do like the build quality and good quality materials used in both of these bags. So now to touch on some key differences. And to me, the Osprey really hits that traditional travel duffel style bag. Again, material is exactly like the Transporter duffel series, and very similar setup as far as having just one main compartment with a small kind of quick grab pocket. So when you compare that to, I guess, eBags version of the rolling duffel, a lot of differences, because you will have a nice large main compartment, but just the opening of the bag, it's going to be more traditional as far as rolling luggage goes. Basically split the bag open and, again, have a lot of space to pack your items inside. And then as far as organization, and I did touch on this with the Transporter, the Rolling Transporter, just the lack of organization. But the eBags does offer quite a bit of pockets and compartments to really kind of organize your items. You'll see very quickly you'll have kind of a larger pocket on the front here, even a smaller top pocket, kind of like a map or I guess a quick grab pocket on the front here, in addition to kind of a smaller pocket on the top here. So again, a lot of ways to kind of organize your items if necessary, if that's important. So again, but it's totally different than how the Transporter, the Rolling Transporter goes about it, as far as just having that one large main compartment. And then just as far as compression straps, you'll notice this on the outside of the eBags, whereas the Rolling Transporter, you have those internal compression straps. And that is kind of interesting about the eBags, is that they did not incorporate that. Even though in this main, or a smaller pocket here, there is one compression strap, which again is kind of interesting. So what I really like about eBags overall is just the thought they put into bags, because they add a lot of little features that you don't realize you might need until you're actually packing your items or you're out on a trip. And you kind of learn to appreciate that. So again, the Transporter, Rolling Transporter, just a ton of space in this bag though. And again, just for someone who's using some packing cubes or whatever your situation might be, and having the ability to compress those in. Again, I really like that, and that's where I really feel like the travel duffel comes into play. So next, I do want to give kind of some final thoughts, and I do want to touch on price because there's a pretty significant difference in both of these bags. So I did want to finish with some quick thoughts on both of these bags, and I do want to primarily focus on price at this point because I think that's an important factor when really looking at both of these bags. The Osprey Rolling Transporter 40 retails for approximately $240. I've had a very difficult time finding this bag for any less than this. Probably in the future there's going to be a lot of opportunity to find the bag discounted, but currently really difficult to find this any less than that retail price. The eBags retails, from what I've seen on the website, for approximately $219, but every time I've looked at this bag it's always been discounted. Currently I think it's discounted to $189. But there is a promotional code on the website that if you enter, you can buy this bag for $119. So that just shows you how much this bag actually fluctuates. So if this is a bag you're interested in, keep your eye on it if it's at a specific price, because you're probably going to find it lower at some point. I actually purchased this bag about 1.5 years ago, and I paid around $99 for it. So that goes back to, I guess, a big question in looking at these bags and just the difference in price. So for a lot of people, that question is going to be, how can I justify spending $240 on this bag when I could potentially have this bag for around, say, $100 to $120? And I think for a lot of people, that's going to be a very difficult question to answer. I think for me, if all things being equal, if these bags were exactly the same price, my preference would definitely be towards the Osprey Rolling Transporter, and just because it's more, I guess, in line with how I travel, my travel needs. I love the travel duffel bag, so primarily when I travel I do use packing cubes and items like that, so I just need a large opening I can throw all my stuff inside. I do like having that quick grab pocket where I can put a battery and a cord in to charge my phone when I travel. So, and I do love the overall quality of this bag. So again, if both of these bags were exactly the same price, I would definitely choose the Rolling Transporter. But that's not technically the case at this point. As you see, there's a pretty big price gap. Even at $120 to $240, basically double the price. So again, that's when the decision becomes a little bit more difficult, because I think at that price range, this bag actually has quite a bit to offer. So like I always say, I think it's so important to see bags side by side. Again, to hopefully help in the decision-making process, and hopefully I haven't made it more difficult. That's definitely not my goal whatsoever. But as always, thank you so much for taking time to watch. If you do have any questions or comments, I would love to hear that. And if you do have any real-world experience with these bags, again, I absolutely love that too. So please like, subscribe, and leave those comments. Again, thank you so much.